Let's go ahead. As already discussed, we are now going to the all important concept under section 144B, the recently introduced concept of faceless assessment. Everyone is going so crazy about it. Or is or faceless. Let me be honest, what they have given here is a procedure. How to do this in practical life. To what extent it will be relevant in exam, time will tell. As of now, I don't see much relevance or much importance of this in exam. As far as exam point of view is concerned, you will, if you learn the concept, when you study with me, you will realize that framing questions on this is not very easy. This is something that you should know for your practical life. Okay. To give you a background about what they have done, what they have introduced, what is this thing called faceless? Traditionally, in our income tax law, especially with whatever we have studied till now, any case under income tax will open with notice, close with order. Who will send the notice? AO. Who will pass the order? AO. Between the notice and the order, if any investigation has to be done, who will do that? Come on, AO. If any verification of books of accounts, documents, tax audit report is required, who will do that? If valuation of any asset is required, who will take help of the VO? It will be done by the valuation officer, but help will be taken by the VO. That means from the first step of assessment till the last step of the assessment, the entire process is under the control of one person. And whenever things are under the control of one person, this results in corruption. We are living in India after all. Compare this with your exams. Do you know who is going to check your paper? No. Does the paper checker know who the student is? No. Now imagine, what if they know each other? What if the person who is checking the paper knows the student and the other way around? Just imagine. Why will I? Why will I every day? Come, subah 7 o'clock ka lecture mein I will attend and I will get bored. Rather directly talk to that paper checker. Sir, anyways I have to pay tuition fees of 8 papers and attend and put so much hard work. Now directly contact the paper checker only. No? Best idea. If the assessee and the AO know each other personally, they meet each other regularly, they interact with each other, they meet in the department and outside the department. Imagine the assessee and the AO opposite gender. They meet in the office, they meet outside the office also. A lot can happen over coffee. Imagine the corruption here. So in simple, what is faceless assessment? All these activities will be divided into different people. The job of sending the notice will be done by someone else. The job of passing the order will be done by someone else. If any verification is required of books of accounts, documents, tax audit report, examination of witness, any inquiry to be conducted, that will be done by a different person. Any technical help is required in the form of valuation or in the form of computation of arm's length price for transfer pricing purposes. For that, we will have different people. And finally, when the order is passed, there will be a separate team of people who will review the order, something that was never happening earlier. So once the assessment order is passed, things that we have studied till now, once the order is passed, it is like words have left your tongue. The arrow has left the bow, life has left human body. Once the order is passed, there is no action that can be taken by the department. Yes, if the assessee is aggrieved, you always have the mechanism called appeal. You can go and fight an appeal against the income tax department. But we are talking about a situation where the assessee has bribed, let me speak that word, bribed the assessing officer. Of course, that means the AO will pass the order in the favor of the assessee. And once the order is passed in the favor of the assessee, obviously assessee will not go in appeal. And even without teaching you appeal chapter, one thing I can tell you right now only. Department can never go to CIT appeals for filing an appeal against the assessment order. Then CIT appeals can take favor of assessee or department. Whoever is the losing party can go to ITAT. But at CIT appeals, only assessee can appeal. You know what is the logic? Very simple. At CIT appeals, what are you appealing against? Assessment order. Who passed that order? And now if you are aggrieved, slap yourself. How can you be aggrieved against yourself? The department, hello. How can the department be aggrieved against itself? It is your AO. Lock him in a room. So CIT appeals only who can go? Assessee can go. And now imagine, bribe paid by assessee to AO, and only one person is doing everything. We are talking about the earlier scenario. Only one person is doing everything. Bribe paid by the assessee to AO. AO is passing the order in the favor of the assessee. So obviously assessee will not appeal and department is not allowed to appeal. Khatam. In fact, nobody is interested in becoming CIT also. Everybody wants to be AO only. This is more remunerative, no? Do you realize what am I saying here? Somewhere we have to end this corruption. Okay? And with what they have done, corruption in income tax department is going to be almost eliminated, but provided we move to 100% faceless environment. This was the whole idea what I right now told you. Now if I tell you about the drafting of the provision in subsection 1, don't write anything, first listen to what I am saying. In subsection 1, they have given a whole long story, the entire procedure, everything step by step by step. This will happen, then that will happen, then this is stupidity. This is highest level of stupidity. Traditionally, we had never seen a thing like this in income tax. In income tax, whenever they enact a provision, whenever they enact a section, they just write what has to be done. They could have only written faceless assessment will happen as per a procedure laid down, like they have written in all the sections of that scheme, transparency, efficiency, accountability. We will lay down a procedure. And then who will lay down the procedure? In the rules the CBDT used to lay down. They never used to write things like these in the act. These things were always written in the rules. But for a change, what they have done, a long procedure, a whole long story, every step, after this, do this, then this, then this, then this, this person will do this, that person will do that, everything they have written. This procedure alone in our textbook goes to about 2-3 pages. And now if you sit and learn the procedure like you are learning a section, you will never in life be able to learn this. Rather learn it like a story, and I will make you do that. One after the other, step after the step, what is going to be happening in the story. We will learn it like that. Imagine like this, if my mother has to tell me that go and bring 2 liters of milk. What is the maximum instruction she should give me? That don't bring it from Sharma Dairy, bring it from Om Sai Dairy. That's possibly the maximum instruction. Now imagine she telling me that first take a carry bag from the kitchen. Step 2, wear your shoes. Then open the door. Then press the lift button. Then wait for the lift ka door to open. Enter the lift. Press the ground floor ka button. Let the lift go down. Get out of the lift. Get out of the building. Get out of the society compound. Cross the road. Go to that dairy. Or if you are taking your 2-wheeler or 4-wheeler, then make sure you take your keys also. Park it properly. Tell the shopkeeper to... Do you think so much is required? Abey 2 liter doodh, go bring no 2 liters. So much is not required. And that is what they have done in subsection 1. Every step they have said, do this, do this. So much was not required. If at all they had to tell this was only a procedure, they could have written it in the rules also. But they have done that. Okay. So the subsection 1 is the thing that will take us the longest time. We cannot go to subsection 1 directly because subsection 1 is the story that we are going to, I will not say we are going to learn, we are going to understand the step after step. You cannot learn any story unless you know who the characters are. Okay. And the characters are given in subsection 3. So things like National Faceless Assessment Center, Regional Faceless Assessment Center, Assessment Unit. Who are they? What are they? Arshad Varsi, कौन है ये लोग कहाँ से आते हैं? Who are they? What are they? Everything is given. The characters are given in subsection 3. So it only makes sense that we first actually go and learn subsection 3. Who are the characters in our story? Only then we will know what role everyone will play. And once we know what role everyone will play, understanding the story is going to be better. But sir, what is written in between in subsection 2? I am not going to write that. So maybe subsection 3 ke story ka characters I will do with you in writing. Subsection 1 ka procedure to the extent required, I will be doing with you in writing. But subsection 2 is one line. I am speaking that line. See if you understand. The board may specify. Achha, by the way, board means in income tax, who is the board? Which is that board? CBDT. The board will specify the class of persons whose case may be taken up in a faceless manner. Means traditionally our assessing officer was doing regular assessment. The way we studied 142.1 sending notices, about 142.2 a special audit, about if he has trust then intimation, if he does not have trust then order under 143.3, if you do not cooperate then 144 best judgment assessment order. All this was done, all this was being done by the assessing officer. But now it won't be done by the assessing officer. It will be picked up in a faceless manner, and then who will decide which case will happen faceless and which case will happen still physically? That is written in subsection 2. Only one line. Board will decide. Who will decide? Board will decide. Okay. It only tells us this much, that even now we are not in 100% faceless environment. We may see that day very soon, may not very far away. But as of now, both are going to continue simultaneously. Physical and faceless, both. And certain procedures, of course, like search and seizure, you need to have common sense. They can never happen. Survey can never happen faceless. It always will be physical. Okay. So subsection 2 is one line. We are done with it. Who will decide what will happen faceless? CBDT will decide. Subsection 1 is that long story, maximum time we have to spend in that only. Subsection 3 is the list of characters in our story. Who are the characters in our story? Arey, listen now. कौन है ये लोग, कहां से आते हैं? Who are these people? Okay. Let me introduce to you. We are discussing, by the way, the characters. So basically, can I say we are talking about subsection 3? In fact, some more subsections after subsection 3 also, that how these characters will communicate with each other in the procedure. In the procedure, we will say that one person will send a notice to other will send communication to the first one. How will they do? All that is given in the further subsections. How the communications will happen, everything will be given in the other subsections. So we are completing everything from subsection 2 onwards till the end, and in the end we will come to the procedure which is given in subsection 1, which you cannot understand unless you understand everything. If I have to speak orally, subsection 1 procedure in the end, subsection 2 CBDT will decide which cases will happen faceless, subsection 3 is the characters which we will first do, and then how these characters will communicate with each other, that is given in further subsections. Then they have given us something like whenever a faceless assessment will happen, CBDT will decide. In that case, we cannot send physical notices to the assessee. So where will we send that notice? Pay attention. That notice will be sent inside the e-filing account. So if you log into your e-filing account, there will be a pop-up that there is a notice that has been issued to you. Please reply. In the old portal, it used to be under my pending actions. In the new portal, that day when we are able to log in, I will also let you know where it is. Okay. So that notice will come inside the e-filing account. Plus, income tax will always create a mobile app of income tax. So that same user ID and password which you are using for the website login, you can have login into that app also. Let's see if that same contract again goes to Infosys also. If that contract also goes to Infosys to develop that app, we'll have to wait and watch. So we will send you one notification in the app also. You know what are app notifications now? Ting, 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 ting. That is what I am referring to. We will send one over there also. Okay. So one authenticated copy will be put in your e-filing account. One will come as notification in the app also. Real-time alert is what they are saying. It will be sent on the email address also. And after doing all this, the assessee can still refuse. Assessee can say, sir, income tax website is not something that I log into every day. We log into our e-filing account only in the month of return filing. or maximum if we want to check our TDS credit 26 days. Income tax app is not Instagram that I will open and check every day. App notifications. Come on. It should make sense to you. Okay. I don't open my email also every day. You are saying that you have sent me the notice on email also, but I don't open that also every day. So they send one SMS also. A real time alert. So email, app, website and real time alert. What more do you want? In fact, we may get to see a time when income tax department will, because in the SMS also you can say that sir, I have not read it. But they may probably also send you a WhatsApp notice, and if they get to see blue tick, that means you have read the notice. Maybe. Koi ko bolta, sir, I have disabled. Are you following what I am saying? That is how they will be sending you the notices. That means, can I say the system of physical notice is over? And now how will we respond to that notice? In that online login only, whatever response we have to give, we will type our response and we will submit our response also online only. Every time we submit anything to the income tax, take example of income tax return, the moment we submit, a result is generated in the form of an acknowledgement. In every time we file income tax return, confirmation of submission of return is coming by way of an acknowledgement, no? So similar acknowledgement will come every time you send your communication. So they will send their communication in various ways: email, website, app notification, real time alert, and whatever you have replied to their communication, that will also, you will get an acknowledgement of the reply that you have, of the response that you have submitted. This is how communication is going to take place. All these communications are going to happen electronically. Everything is going to happen electronically. Means we are going to use technology, and can I say with all this we are slowly and gradually moving on to the whole thing called faceless. See if you understand what I am saying. Mitro.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then one small thing they have mentioned over here, when faceless will come fully into practice, at that time we will get to see how effective it is. Somewhere in this entire story, they have also written, after doing all this, in case the assessee feels, no sir, I want a physical hearing because everything in typing I am not able to tell you. See, they are going to send you notice. Did you understand the manner of sending notice? Online notice. In the website ka e-filing account, in the app, on email, and a real-time alert, SMS. That is how they will send you the notice. How will you reply? You have to reply online only. And the moment you submit your reply, you will get an acknowledgement. That means, can I say the whole structure is online, digital, use of technology? Come on. Which also means that the tax experts that people will now hire do not have to be the people who know how to talk good. Clever guys, people with presence of mind who can immediately argue. You've seen court cases ka scenes in Bollywood movies. Fat argument. Those guys are of no use. They are of use only when we are physically interacting with the assessing officer. You now need people who can type good, who have got a good number of words in their vocabulary. They may not know how to talk. There are some chartered accountants who, sorry to say this, they don't know how to talk. Absolutely no. Okay. We are on record, so I cannot take names and real life examples of what some of our CA leaders have done on public forums, public stages, while talking. What they want to say and what they actually say, there is no connection only. They probably don't know how to talk, but if they know how to type, how to reply, that will be good. So you get e-notice, you reply also electronically, you will get an acknowledgement. But after all this, supposingly you are saying that sir, this much typing and replying, I am not able to explain to you properly in typing what I want to tell you. Has this happened with you? I am asking you, that you are talking to someone on text message, SMS, WhatsApp, 4 or 5 long text messages you send each other, and after that you are like, nahi yaar, abhi jam nahi raha, look, I'll call you and explain what exactly I am trying to say. Has this happened with you?
Yes.
Your faces, this is why I make you keep video on. Your faces tell me, हाँ ये वाला हुआ है. After 4 or 5 messages बोला नहीं यार, you are not understanding. Look, I'll call you. in some time. Same thing will happen. The assessee can actually request for a physical hearing. Assessee can request, sir, I am not comfortable like this, physical hearing. So they have said that we will develop softwares for that also, where we can have audio video communication. Physical hearing may not actually mean that we will call you in our office. Audio, like we are doing, no, we are using Zoom. And there are people who are using other software also for audio video. There are people who have developed their own app for doing this. Do you know this? Those who are teaching SFM, FR, they are at a very big risk. No? They are teaching on Zoom and someone does screen recording. In my case, there is no such risk. No, it is going to change next year. How can you leak the videos? Some are like, wow, how to get video backup? Pata chal. So those apps you cannot do screen recording. We are also developing, but we actually are planning to drop the, we want to drop the plan because we expect that now very soon physical classes will happen. Let's see. Okay. So the thing is that they will develop their own software which facilitates audio video communication from both sides. Something, for example, Zoom only. Let's take an example of Zoom only. Can we have audio video communication from both sides?
Yes.
There also you will have to keep video on. Bola nahi sir. Today I can I keep off, sir? Sir, today I am traveling, sir. Can I have the today ka hearing with video off? Sir, I have taken vaccine. Can I keep video off? Samjha kya? There you don't have any such facility available. So we may provide physical hearing also. And one more thing I would like to tell you orally, only all this that I am talking about is written in the section and the textbook that is allotted to you, that anytime during the proceeding, if the main hero of this story, is an organization called National Faceless Assessment Center. If they feel that we don't want to continue this case faceless, they can hand over the entire matter to the jurisdictional assessing officer who was otherwise going to do the assessment before faceless came. Before faceless came, he was going to do everything. No? They can discontinue the faceless thing and hand over the matter to the AO, NFAC. Okay, that is also written over here. So communication and all that will happen online. If you have ever filed a simple income tax return also, no, so you know what is the submit button, you know what is the e-verification, you know that you have to digitally sign it, you know all that. And then the moment you submit, you get an acknowledgement. From the assessee's side this happens, and from the department side we get email, we get SMS. You know your client ka registered mobile number. Today also they get any notice or intimation, they get SMS on that registered mobile number. We get one email also. In the website ka login ID we get it in the portal. And of course, if the app is developed very soon, we will get one app notification also. So what is happening in income tax return, we will now do that with the notices and the reply to the notices. Also all that procedural part also, if you have ever done one practical income tax return filing also, no, so you will understand what the procedure is all about. So from subsection 4 onwards, the rest of the things are these general things only, about the possibility of a physical hearing, about the possibility of transferring the entire case to the jurisdictional assessing officer. All that is subsection 4 onwards. What was the subsection 2? CBD. And now let's understand who are the characters of our story. The main hero, the lead hero, the central character of the story is going to be an organization called National Faceless Assessment Center, NFAC. The main hero of the story is going to be NFSC, a centralized office of income tax department to control the entire faceless process. This organization is the lead hero. This organization will be based from one place, mostly in Delhi only, being the capital. This is the centralized organization which will control the entire faceless system from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh. This is like ICAI Delhi. Centralized office. Okay. The main office, the head office. This will control everything. When we go to the procedure is subsection 1. And in procedure, I will tell you what are the powers of NFSC, what activities NFSC will do. You will automatically realize why it is called the lead actor, the main hero, or let me speak orally. No one will talk to each other. No one will talk to each other. Assessee will not talk to the assessment unit. Nobody will talk to anyone. You want to send any communication. Who will you send it to? NFSC. And any communication that will come to you will come from where? NFSC. No cross talks. No cross talk. This is also, see, if you are living in India, you need to have a little bit knowledge about chairmanship and parliamentary proceedings. CAPP it is called. Chairmanship and parliamentary proceedings. Abhi for example, housing society ka meeting is going on, or any charitable trust ka AGM is going on, or let's talk about our parliament only. There is a speaker, no? Likewise, in every meeting, there is, you can say, Adhyaksh of the meeting, presiding officer of the meeting. If you want to talk to anyone, you have to address the chair. Go watch any proceeding of Lok Sabha on TV. So they don't talk to each other directly. They are not allowed to talk to each other. You have to always address the chair. Madam Speaker, or right now it is Sir Speaker, Honorable Speaker. You have to talk to the chair. And the chair will direct who will speak, who will not speak, who will stand up, who will sit down. It is the responsibility of the chairperson. In Lok Sabha, we call it the speaker. That role will be played by NFSC, National Faceless Assessment Center. The person who has got the controlling powers of the entire faceless thing is the National Faceless Assessment Center, NFAC, operating from one place. The main character. Then we will be having something called RFAC. Everywhere. Multiple places. Who is the main character of the story? NFSC. It will be operating from one place. And then from multiple places, what will be having? RFSC. Sir, first thing, what is RFSC? Regional Faceless Assessment Center. There will be a National Faceless Assessment Center. There will be a Regional Faceless Assessment Center. National Faceless Assessment Center will be one organization at one place. Regional Faceless Assessment Center will be everywhere. So there will be RFSC Mumbai, RFSC Mumbai, Lucknow, Delhi, Chennai, Ahmedabad, Kochi, everywhere. Chennai, everywhere. See, understand. Most places, almost everywhere you have income tax offices. Every city you have offices. Just because we are moving into faceless, we are not going to shut down all those offices. Those offices are going to continue. The operation will be like a regional faceless assessment center. In this entire story, after national, the next person I named, the next character I named is Regional Faceless Assessment Center. So you may probably be getting a feeling, acha, national is most powerful, second powerful body will be this. Honestly speaking, this character has got absolutely no role in our story. It is not going to do anything in our story. It is not going to perform any task in the story. The regional offices of income tax will be converted into faceless center. That's it. This character is of absolutely no use in the entire story. Just that we have income tax offices various places. Operation will be converted into Regional Faceless Assessment Center. The real role in the story will be played by the people who are working under them. This is only like HR department. Diwali is coming, no, they will make Rangoli. They really don't have any role to play. See, this is the partner of your firm. Partner, of course, has a big role. He is the controlling person. And then, in the firm, there are articles. They are the people who do work. This HR department is trying to control the articles or even the employees of the company, employees of the firm. Honestly speaking, it is only created to control the ones who are actually working. it itself is not going to do any work. The work will be done by the next set of characters that I will now be introducing. They will be doing the work. What will RFSE do? RFSE will only act as a controlling body of the characters that are upcoming. For day-to-day work, communication will be between whom? Between NFSE and these characters. Communication will be between these people. RFSE has got no role to play. What will RFSE only do? It will just be operating as the controlling body of all the characters that are going to be now introduced to you. And other than that, RFSE actually does not have any role to play. So who is the main hero? Main person in the entire story, main character of our story? NFSE will be set up at one place. Then RFSE will be set up at various places, different places across the country. What will it only do? It will control. It will control whom? I am introducing some very, very important characters to you. In every RFSE, we will be having the following units. So the units are operating under RFSE. It is the units who are actually going to perform all the activities under income tax. And who will control everyone? NFSE. But NFSE is based at one place. So day-to-day working cannot be controlled. People working in this unit. See, HR department ka work is what? Whether you are coming on time, you are coming on late, 5 minutes late, then half day absent. It has happened with you? 5 minutes late, then half day absent. Sudarshan, which firm you are working in? If you don't mind me asking. Huh? I was working in a firm. 10 o'clock is the office time. 10:15 if you come, half day absent. I reached at 10:17. Entry time in office 10:17. Usme bhi some time was wasted because of lift, but chalo, I'll not blame the office. That's my duty to take care of that 2 minutes. But 10:17 ko if you enter, तो जो ऑफिस का रिसेप्शन का रजिस्टर एंट्री है, व्हाट विल यू राइट एज योर एंट्री टाइम? व्हाट इज द नियरेस्ट मल्टीपल? 10, 15 or 20? I wrote 15 and I went and sat down on my desk. The HR, well, she had actually no work, no, because Rangoli or harassment, only 2 work. Diwali is coming, so now they will be busy, otherwise rest of the year what are they doing? So she went and checked first what I wrote in the reception. Then she came running with the register to me. Why have you written? This is after articleship, post qualification. Why have you written? I was teaching also and I was having a job also. Simultaneously, juggling. Bola, I said I came at 10:17, 10:15, nearest multiple you know. Bola, no, you write 10:20 and today I will count half day. मैं बोला ठीक है, write 10:20, write whatever you want to write. I don't argue with people like who don't have manners to talk. Just because you are a female, I am controlling myself. Okay? I said write whatever you want to. Then after 5 minutes again, she came, that tie pen. If you don't wear tie, it is not allowed in our office. Wearing a tie is compulsory. I said, madam, it is October heat and October heat is sometimes more dangerous than May. Abbe school ka geography now I teach you. Transition month. From monsoon to winter. Switch on the ACs. Bola nahi. ACs will be switched on right now at 10 o'clock only the employees come. Articles ka office timing is from 11 o'clock because they attend morning ka some final CA ka class and come. So when the office will have a good amount of crowd only then AC will be on. Before that AC will not be on. Bola, I am not wearing the tie. Bola, then I will mark you half day absent. That is also. Bola, theek hai. Half day absent for 10:20 and half day absent for not wearing the tie. So you count me full day absent and I am doing charity for you. Do what you want to. I am not wearing the tie. Up to it's on my ego now. I am not wearing it. Or ego bolo ya self-respect, whatever you want to call it. I am not doing it. Correct? But when it comes to today's who's hearing, today we have to go to income tax department for which client, today which submissions I have to make, all that communication ke liye, that HR ka requirement was not there. That used to happen between the partner and us. So HR is unnecessarily only playing the role of a temporary middle wala boss. Well, that is your regional faceless assessment center. Absolutely no role in the whole story. Main actor, main character, National Faceless Assessment Center, and now I will introduce to you some more characters which are going to play some important part. They may not be the main actor, the lead, there can only be one lead actor, but they are going to have a very, very important role in this story. We will be having something called an assessment unit, AU, under every RFSC. So listen, every RFSC will have these units 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. First unit is which unit? Assessment unit. Do you understand the name itself is self-explanatory? What function will be performed by the assessment unit? The function of making the assessment. The function for asking. See, for assessment you need what? We have studied the chapter enough that you can understand that for doing assessment, what do we need? We need information, we need explanation, we need material, books of accounts, documents. He will ask for all this and ultimately he will complete his assessment. That will be the responsibility of the assessment unit. Passing of order is whose responsibility? Assessment unit. So earlier, who used to do this? Let me ask you that also. AO. Now it will not be done by the AO, it will be done by a unit operating under the RFSC in the regional center, and the unit may not have one person, it will be a team of people, it will be a group of people. Team based jurisdiction. Your case will no longer be handled by one person, one human being. It will be a team of people, a group of people who will perform activities. Assessment unit will be doing the work of assessment. No problem. There are 3 more characters. Shall I introduce to them? Shall I introduce them to you one by one with the kind of task they will be performing in the story? Next, every RFSC will be having another unit. So, under whom are these units operating? RFSC. But RFSC itself does not have any role to play. That you understood, no? RFSC itself does not have any role to play. That you understood, no?
Yes.
But these units are operating under the RFSC. Okay? Verification unit. What will this unit? Guess karo. What will verification unit do? Lol. Verification. Then I will ask you, guess karo. What will technical unit do? Bola technical work. And then guess karo. What will the last unit? Review unit do? Bola sir, review. What will assessment unit do? Assessment. What will verification unit do? I asked you. You are saying, sir, verification. What will technical unit do? Sir, technical work. And what will review unit do? Are ruko re. Wait, no. Let me explain. What will the verification unit do? Ha bolo. Obviously, the job of verification. So listen, assessment unit will say that I want books of accounts, documents. I want material. Who will check these books of accounts, documents and material? Who will do this? Checking of books of accounts. Cross inquiry. While doing assessment, did we have something called third party confirmation, debtor confirmation, creditor confirmation? Were we verifying the claims of the assessee? Assessee is saying, I have incurred a traveling expense for the purpose of my business. Who will check those traveling expense ka bills, documents? Verification people will do it. If there is any person who is witness to the case, who will do cross verification of the witness? The verification unit. So, assessment unit is asking for all this information, explanation, material. But who will go and check all this? Verification unit will do this. Your job is to pass the order. Verification ka work will be done by verification unit. Now I am asking you. Earlier, who used to do all this? AO. So this also AO, this also AO. Don't forget this, Mitro. Correct? Let's go to the third unit. Operating under the RFSC. But RFSC that way does not have any role to play. It is only the regional office. The job will be done by the technical unit. Ha bolo. What work technical unit will do? Fair technical work. What technical work? What kind of technical work? Listen. Sometimes we will need help. What kind of help? Sometimes we will need legal help. whether a particular action that we are taking is constitutionally valid, invalid, whether opportunity of being heard is required or not. Something as simple as interpretation of income tax provisions. We will need legal help. Abhi imagine, this is actually a real story. Actually a real story. An income tax officer somewhere in UP, he contacted me. Did I tell you about him earlier? He said that, sir, I used to regularly do the assessments of people in my city. I know what is the I know most of them personally. It's a small town. I know what they do, what they don't. I know all of them. But now I am getting random cases. And some of these cases are having applicability of other sections of income tax which I have not studied since so many years. So unless I know the provision, how will I do it? They need legal help. So who will give them legal help? Who will give them explanation of legal provisions? Assessment unit wants to pass order. To pass order, they need legal assistance. Who will grant them legal assistance? Technical unit. Technical unit. If there is any IT related help, information technology, IT matlab income tax nahi, information technology related help, who will give them this help? Technical unit. You know, accounts are based in a computerized environment. So in a computerized environment, if we want to do auditing or checking, if there is any system that we want to hack because it's a password protected file and assessee is not providing us the password, then whom will we take help from? Technical unit. They will help us. They will help us to do this. If we want any accounting help, maybe say, you know, book profit ka computation will change because of Ind AS. I'm talking about things that we have studied. So how are Ind AS? What is the provision of Ind AS? Abhi a person who is from taxation will not have knowledge about what is Ind AS now. So whose help we will take? People from accounting background who will be a part of the technical unit. If we need any valuation, this is something that is very, very easy to understand. Remember earlier we were taking help from the VO valuation officer. That is also like a technical work. You need to have the knowledge of valuation. Without that you cannot do. Whenever any technical area ka knowledge is required, whether it is legal knowledge or accounting knowledge or valuation ka knowledge, all that knowledge is not in the possession of the assessment wala people. All that help will be given by whom? Technical unit. वैसे examination, verification, all this will be done by whom? Verification unit. But supposingly we want to do any forensic checking. अभी कोई को बोलता है ना, after CA what profile you want? बोला sir I want to go in forensic audit. They get excited. Sir I got a job in Big 4 in forensic audit. You know what is forensic audit? Dr. Salonke, listen. What is forensic audit? One of my past students, rank holder, got a job in Big 4 under forensic audit. Very excited. His work profile was, whichever company gives us forensic audit ka assignment, you have to hack into the email of the 2000 employees of the company, maybe more, and you have to check all their conversations with various parties. Some companies also have incorporated system of snooping. Snooping, you understand? WhatsApp conversations of their employees. If there is any data leakage, to keep a check on that, that is forensic audit. And he is like, sir, sometimes it is so monotonous and boring. Imagine checking company emails continuously back to back. Is it not so boring and monotonous? Checking every email of every employee, morning 9 to evening 6, I am doing only this much, checking emails of people. Only doing this much, checking emails, nothing else. Or checking WhatsApp conversation. Yes, sometimes some exciting stuff also I come across. Sometimes some really funny stuff. But sometimes it is really very boring. That is technical help. Maybe the verification unit is also not so well equipped because you need to have technical knowledge about how to hack those systems to be able to get this. Are you following what I am saying? So all that will be done by technical unit. Now tell me one thing. Who used to do all this earlier? AO with the help of VO. Agreed. So if at all we have to bribe, maximum 2 people to bribe. And by the way, the AO only used to come and give a package. Bola, give this much, I will take care of all the internal officers. So our interaction was confined to that one person assessing officer. Correct or no? So can I say earlier all these activities were done by one person? We are splitting activities into, now listen, not 3 people, 3 units. This unit will have multiple human being as officer, multiple human being. They will all work under the regional faceless assessment center, who has got no role to play except controlling these units. The main role will be played by National Faceless Assessment Center, that you will understand when we go to the procedure. Main role will be of the NFSC. So assessment work, technical work and verification work, all this was earlier done by whom? Now we will split this work, and the moment work is split into different people, you don't even know who is the person who is sending you that notice. Have you ever filed a Twitter complaint against any company, like any customer care ka complaint on Videocon D2H, या Reliance Jio का SIM card not working, या ICICI Bank का app not working? Have you filed any social media complaint? You have traditionally done what? Call the customer care and given your complaint that my SIM card is not getting network or something like that. Supposingly my set-top box is not working, you must have called the customer care. The people sitting in the customer care are a useless bunch of people. Okay, the best way to do I'm not joking, seriously, I've done this multiple times. The best way to get your work done fast is social media. Directly tag their handle or send them, they must be having all an official Facebook page also. You can send one message on Facebook Messenger to their official page, or you can tag their Twitter handle. They have to work immediately, because every complaint that comes on social media is checked by their seniors. Every complaint. So I think with the faces you are making, I think you all have not done this. So next time you try, so you file a Twitter complaint. So they will send you that, they will reply to you that please give me more details via personal message, and niche they will write the name Amit from Videocon D2H. Then you start sending them direct message, personal message. After 2 days, you may probably get a reply of the new status of your complaint, and then they will say, sir, we have checked everything, it will start within 24 hours. Niche they will write Neha from Videocon D2H. Matlab, different people are operating that account. It is not always going to be one person. Same thing will happen assessment also. One day one person will send a notice. You reply to that notice. That notice may be read by someone else. By the way, you will never be replying directly. All the communication will happen through NFSC. Then NFSC will send that communication to the assessment unit. That will be read by maybe some other officer. Because it's a unit, it is not one human being. Is that understood? Likewise, technical also is a unit. Verification is also a unit. All this earlier used to be done by one human being. Now it will be done by multiple units, and in every unit there will be multiple officers. Is that understood? And now, what about the last unit? What is the name of the last unit?
Review unit.
What work it will do? Review. Review what?
Order.
Order passed by. Who will pass the order?
Unit.
So listen. Despite having such a system, we are Indians after all. We will find out some way or the other to personally contact the assessment unit ka officer. We are Indians after all. So the work done, the final order will be checked by a review. And review is one word which you probably know. If you worked in a CA firm, you know there is manager review, there is partner review. Whatever submission you have made, they will check what you have done. Okay. Checking by your senior is review. Is that understood? So listen. Now listen what I am saying. Earlier, all this was done by one person. And this was not done only. Immediately after assessment order, if department is aggrieved, nothing can happen. If assessee is aggrieved, he will file an appeal. So this was done by one person. And this was not done only. Now what will happen? The task of the assessing officer will be first of all divided into 3 units. And then every order is going to also be reviewed. Not every, but some of them will definitely be reviewed. I'll correct myself. Not every order, but there is going to be review in certain selected orders also. To keep a check on corruption, we have incorporated this process. These are the characters of our story. Who is the lead hero? NFSC. NFSC will be the controlling body. It will be the organization that will control everything that is going to happen in the procedure. We are now going to the procedure. You will understand everything. But NFSC is going to be the controlling body, the controlling organization who will be deciding everything. First thing. Is that understood? Second, RFSC, no real role to play. That regional office will be converted into RFSC. The role will be played by the units under the RFSC. What are the 4 units under the RFSC? Uvuturu,
Assessment.
Avuturu.
Verification unit, technical, and review.
Avuturu. You've seen that video? Oh my God, Turu love. No. Chalo chodo. Jane do. Okay. I keep a track of the things which are happening on social media, the latest memes, so that today's generation can be kept active in the class. Because if I am not having knowledge about it and you will talk about some meme, then I will not understand. There will be difficulty. So I also keep a track of all this. AU, VU, TU, RU are the 4 units. And have we understood the respective functions of all of them? All communications will happen electronically. Notices will come electronically. You have to submit also electronically. When the notice comes, you will be informed in 4 different ways. And when you submit your reply, you will get an acknowledgement. All that is understood. Which cases will come under faceless? CBRT will decide. At the end, they may either also transfer this to the actual assessing officer having jurisdiction, or if the assessee is asking for a physical hearing, they may have the infrastructure for allowing physical hearing also. Is that also understood? And now, when I start the procedure, I am going to start the procedure now. Just remember one line. None of them will talk to each other. No. RFSC has actually not got any role only to play. These are the units which will be performing various functions, day-to-day functions, and then of course, there is going to be an assessee. Between these people or between the respective units, between them, anywhere there is absolutely going to be no communication. Before I start anything, all the communications, between whom? Between NFSC, the various units and the assessee. Or remove the NFSC from here, not required. All communication between the units and the assessee will happen through the NFSC. If we have to send any notice to the assessee, assessment unit wants to send any notice to the assessee. So assessment unit will not send the notice. They will tell the NFSC. NFSC will send the notice. Please understand, orally I will be doing everything in writing. NFSC will send the notice that the assessment unit wants this from you. Now assessee has to reply. You will not reply to the assessment unit. You will reply to the NFSC. The reply received will be checked by NFSC. If there is any style used to reveal identity, that will be removed, and only what is required will be submitted to the assessment unit. Now assessment unit wants to do some examination work, some verification work. Well, I want to check the tax audit report, the books of account, the bill of travelling expenses. I want to examine witness. So we will need whose help? Verification unit. Assessment unit will not contact any verification unit. It will tell the NFSC, sir, we want verification. Then NFSC will talk to the verification unit that kindly do this verification. Verification unit will perform its function and submit its communication. To whom? Who wanted all this data? Assessment unit. But we will submit to NFSC. NFSC will send the required data to the assessment unit without revealing the identity. Now assessment unit wants valuation of assets. So assessment unit cannot pass the order without valuation. Who will do the valuation work? Technical unit. But we will not contact any technical unit. We will again tell the NFSC, sir, we want technical help for valuation, legal, accounting purposes. Then again NFSC will contact technical unit. They will do their work, valuation, forensic, legal, accounting, whatever. They will submit the report to whom? It is needed by assessment unit, but we will submit to NFSC. And then NFSC will be sending it again to the assessment unit. And after gathering all this information, order will be passed. And now NFSC will again decide whether review is required or not required. If review is required, then we will give it to a review unit. Again, that NFSC will decide, and review unit will also talk to the NFSC. That means there will be absolutely no communication between the units. The communication will be through the NFSC. That is the main hero of the story. All decision making powers are also with the NFSC. Is that understood? So, just tell me this much. Are you clear about what is the NFSC and what are the various units and how communication will happen? Okay. Is that clear? The RFSC is only the controlling body in the functioning work. There is absolutely no role to be played. Come on.
Yes.
It's the controlling regional office. In the functioning work, there is no role to be played. The RFSC will be controlled by a principal chief commissioner. You know, senior most IT authority, CCIT, and also has a principal post. RFSC will be controlled by, there will be a principal CCIT who will be responsible for the functioning of the RFSC. Actually, RFSC ka functioning is only what? Controlling the units. So the officers are coming on time or no, and all that day-to-day rules and regulations, code of conduct, that responsibility will be of the RFSC, and RFSC will be led by, headed by what rank ka officer? Principal. And all the units. So I am talking about all the four. Avuturu. Avuturu. All the four. They will be having which authorities? Let me name them and see what is your level now. Additional Commissioner, Joint Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner, Assistant Commissioner, ITO. They are the people who will be a part of units. Who will be running the units, Mitro? They are the people who will be a part of the units. They are the people who will be running the units. Who are they?
Assessing officer.
They are the assessing officers. If I tell you to make a list of assessing officers, additional, joint, deputy, assistant, ITO. So they are the ones who will be handling the units. Above them will be the RFSC, the controlling body of the region. And that will be led by the senior. And remember, CCIT, CIT are seniors of the assessing officer. And above that, the main controlling body is going to be the National Faceless Assessment Center. All communications will be happening through NFSC in online form. Is that also understood?
Yes, sir.
So now we can go and learn what the procedure is. Honestly speaking, most of the things in the procedure I have told you orally, because if you learn it like a section, it will be difficult for you to understand. As against this, if you learn it like a story, because we know who the characters are, we know what roles our characters are playing, we just need to know the screenplay step by step. We know the story, we know the characters, we know the roles, we just need to know the screenplay, what will be the step after step, what will be the first step, second step, one by one, what is going to happen in the faceless thing. Okay, the whole procedure starts. You tell me, any procedure in income tax starts with.
Notice.
So the whole procedure will start by, guess maro what? Whole procedure will start with, and who will issue the notice? Once CBDT, by the way, who will decide whether the case will be picked up? CBDT. So the National Faceless Assessment Center will issue the notice under section 143 to the assessing. 143 to 143 to
Scrutiny,
regular assessment, scrutiny assessment. Remember, we need to serve a notice, only then we can do faceless work. And of course, time limit of scrutiny notice sending will apply, no? What is the time limit to serve a scrutiny notice? एक लाफा मारेगा घर पे आके. तो 142(1) का what is the time limit? We did distinguish between 142(1) and 143(2). In one there was time limit, one there was no time limit. Right now you are saying दोनों के लिए no time limit. Someone said 3 months from the end of, बाद में confidence नहीं आया तो mute हो गए. By looking at the notebook, anyone can answer. It is like looking at the calendar and telling the date. Looking at the watch and telling the time. Anyone can do that. It is your responsibility to study this. Okay, provisions will come one after the other, chapters will come and get over, batch will get over, attempts will come and go. Studying is your responsibility. You don't know what is scrutiny ka time limit. What do I teach you in faceless? You can't study this much and come, what do I teach you? I don't understand. 3 months from the end of the financial year in which the ROI was filed. Earlier, who was sending this notice? Assessing officer. Now we know that in faceless, there will be no officer, it will be units performing various functions. And communication also. See, again, order is to be passed by the assessment unit. But will the assessment unit actually contact or send the notice to the assessee? No. The responsibility of sending the notice will be of the NFSC. And NFSC once sends the notice, the assessee has to, within 15 days, the assessee has to respond. Respond to the NFSC within a period of 15 days. So, who will be sending the notice and initiating the triggering the process of faceless assessment? Which is that organization, the lead hero of our story? NFSC. So, earlier the scrutiny notice which was sent by AO, that scrutiny notice will now be sent by NFSC. And assessee has to respond within how much time?
15 days.
In this notice, basically, the NFSC will only tell the assessee that we are converting your case from a physical case to a faceless case because you fall in the list of cases picked up by CBDT.
Yes.
When can this happen? It is possible that you have filed your ROI under section 139.
Yes.
Or it is possible that you have filed your ROI in response to your 142(1) notice.
Yes.
Then we can convert you into a faceless case. That means any person who has filed ROI, can we convert that person into faceless? Similar to 142(1) notice, very soon, today's lecture only, we will be learning a notice under 148. That is reopening notice. In reopening notice also same thing happens. You get a notice and the notice is asking you to file ROI. Further details I will tell you later. But right now with what I tell you, do you understand? Like this notice will also make you file ROI. That means, is it possible that you have filed ROI in response to 142(1) notice, or is it possible you have also filed ROI in response to 148 notice for reassessment cases? Those cases of reassessment can also be converted into faceless. Faceless. So we are understanding what are the possible cases which can be converted into faceless. You file voluntarily in this section or you file in response to these notices. Is that understood? And listen, even if you are a chore, nalayak, listen, you did not file ROI, no problem, we gave you this notice. But you are such a nalayak that after getting the notice also, you have not filed ROI. Now first tell me one thing, those who don't furnish ROI even after getting the notice, how is their case completed? Best judgment, 144, ex parte. That can also be done faceless by any assessment unit. So those who file their return, regular assessment order will be passed, and those who don't file their return, that is also regular assessment by using ex parte system. Both these assessments can be converted into faceless is what we learn. So where the assessee cooperates, that can also be faceless. Where the assessee does not cooperate, that can also be faceless. Decision of whether your case will come under faceless will be taken by CBDT, and this will be communicated to the assessee by whom? NFSC. NFSC will be communicating that your case will be faceless, whether with cooperation or without cooperation. But your case is going to be converted into a faceless case. Who will communicate this to the assessee? NFSC will communicate this case to the assessee. Is that understood? Your case will be faceless, this NFSC will be communicating. Is that understood? That means now assessee knows that his case is going to be faceless. But who will do the work? Ultimately NFSC is the controlling body. Your partner is not going to do the work. Who does work in office? So now guess karo, that article also starts with the same alphabet, and the one who will do work over here will also start with the same alphabet. Who? The NFSC will appoint AU. Now see, this is why knowing the characters and their functions before actually learning the procedure was important. Even if they have given it in subsection 1, we could not learn subsection 1 first. We had to first learn the characters. So NFSC will appoint whom? AU. The AU will be operating from where?
Regional.
Because that's it. Regional has got no other role to play. NFSC will appoint the assessment unit through an automated system. मतलब listen, they will be having a random system. क्या हुआ? हाँ, lucky draw. वही lucky draw. They will be having a software, internal software, which will check which assessment unit ka people are free, which assessment unit ka people are busy. Earlier what used to happen, Mumbai ka one assessing officer is overburdened with cases, so he is not able to do checking properly, and Lucknow ka AO is sitting free. So our system will check who is free. Our system, like a lucky draw with an automated allocated system, automated allocation system, we will pick up any assessment unit randomly, and that assessment unit will be communicated, informed what, that bro, you have to do faceless assessment in the case of an assessee without revealing the identity, of course. So who will tell the assessment unit that you have to do this? NFSC. That means assessee ko who gave the communication? NFSC. Then assessment unit who selected? NFSC. That also not with conscious knowledge of who the assessment unit is, randomly allocated, system selected, lucky draw. That means, can I say, come back to the characters. Do you know that all the RFSCs will have 4 characters? This RFSC will have 4 characters. 4 characters. AU, VU, TU, RU. One of the AU, supposingly this AU, let me change the color a bit, better understanding you will get. It is possible that the system, the lucky draw, has selected this assessment unit for the purpose of doing. Assessee may be in any other city. Assessee may be sitting in Delhi and the assessment unit may be from Chennai. Possible? Randomly selected. Now, who is supposed to do the work of assessment? Now that you are selected, can I say the assessment unit which has been randomly selected will do the work? Which work? Assessment unit. But in order, assessment cover, but in order to do assessment, of course, do you have brain, common sense that you will need information? What the earlier assessing officer used to do by 142.1, 143.2, 142.2a, 142a valuation, all that information was collected by the AO. So now who will need all that information? AU. AU will request whom? That I need help. Whom will you request? You will only talk to NFSC. Everyone will talk to NFSC only. Nobody will talk to each other. First of all, is that understood? Understood, no? What will we tell our NFSC? Sir, I need the following things. Sir, I need what? Following things. Sir, what do you need? I want certain information, certain documents, certain evidence. From whom? Who will submit all this? I want all this from the assessee. He is saying I want it. He will not get it. We know. Who is going to check all this? I want certain inquiry to be performed by the NFSC 9. Who will check all this? Verification unit. And I want some technical information. I want some valuation. I want some legal accounting help. Who will do this? Technical unit. So basically, once the assessment unit got the work, got the task, got the job, the assessment unit is requesting for 3 things. What are the 3 things requested? Information, documents. Who will give that? Assessee will give. Certain verification, books of account, documents. I want to do checking of all that. Once assessee submits, then we have to check also, no?
Yes.
Who will do that? Verification. And some technical help. Who will do? So listen, this will be asked from the assessee. So directly AU cannot ask. NFSC will ask. Is that understood? And this help is required from the VU and TU respectively. We know what are their functions respectively. Who will appoint them? Let me use the word which you only taught me. You taught me. Appointed by NFSC. How? Lucky draw. A VU will be appointed, a TU will be appointed. How? Lucky draw. The same manner in which we have appointed our AU. And one more thing, please. Come here. First, we told the assessee that your case will be faceless. After telling the assessee, we randomly picked up the AU from here, say Chennai RFSC, randomly. This AU requested that, sir, I want books of account documents. So that we have to talk to the assessee, whichever city assessee is. And all the talking will be done by NFSC. This AU also requested for verification and technical work. AU will request NFSC. Who will appoint VUTU? What I only want to make you understand is the VU can be from here. It need not necessarily be this VU. It need not necessarily be under the same RFSC. The assessment unit can be from a different RFSC. The VU can be from here. It is possible that the TU is taken from here. And this VU-TU ka selection will also happen. Randomly, lucky draw system, automatic allocation system.
Yes.
So we learn one more thing. The AU, VU, TU doing that case may not be from the same regional center. Who will decide? NFSC. NFSC also will not decide. Lucky draw, software will decide. NFSC will only do the communication part. Till now, were you aware that the AU assessment unit who will pass the order will not know who the assessee is?
Yes.
What if I tell you the assessment unit will actually not know who is the verification guy, who is the technical guy? They won't know that also. They will not know who is this guy. In fact, they will not even know is it under my regional center or the other regional center. Imagine, I am working in RFSC under assessment unit, and maybe Sudarshan, you are working in the same RFSC in the technical unit. I want technical help. I tell NFSC. NFSC selected from the system. Your name came. It can be same. It can be random. It can be anyone else. We meet each other every day. We talk to each other. But we don't know that my assessee ka assessment ka technical work you are doing. We will not know only. Forget about communicating with each other. We will not know which unit is doing verification, which unit is doing technical. Understanding all this is very easy. But the explanation is long. It's a procedure. And all this they should have written in the rules. It was not required to be written in the act. Are you following? So, in other words, once assessment unit is picked up, all the required information will be submitted to the assessment unit by the NFSC. From where? This information they will collect from assessee. And this information we will only appoint randomly VUTU. Or may I put it this way? Assessee will give information. VU will do its work. TU will do its work. And all the information, verification ka conclusion, technical work ka conclusion, all this data will be submitted to whom?
NFSC.
And NFSC will give. Very good. Now that means you have understood. What will happen after this? So assessee will furnish reply to NFSC. Verification ka reply will be furnished to the NFSC. Technical ka work will be furnished to the NFSC by the technical work. And all this information, guess karo. What will NFSC do with all this? You already said it. All this will be passed to the AU. How will it help the AU? To help the AU pass the order. Correct or no? Mitro, correct or no? In this, VUTU will guaranteed reply because they are units of the department. If they don't reply within the time limit, so they will get galis from their seniors. So VUTU will do the responsibility. Is it possible that we are saying that assessee has to furnish this data? Is it possible that there is failure on the assessee's part? Is it possible that there is failure? Whenever the assessee fails to cooperate, at least you tell me what happens in income tax. $144. What is 144? But before doing best judgment assessment, every time he wants to do best judgment assessment, he will give a show cause notice to the assessee, and even if he does not reply after show cause notice, then how will the assessment be completed? Again, if there is failure, so we will complete your case by way of best judgment assessment. Understand the full story. NFSC selected the case for faceless, selected any AU. You understood how the random selection will happen? No, I will not repeat the same thing again. AU was selected. Then AU requested. All the request will also see. And all the communication is happening through the NFSC. All that is understood. So I will only revise the steps. AU wants information from assessee, verification work, technical work. Verification wala and technical wala, so definitely they will reply to the NFSC. And NFSC will hand over all the data to the AU. But assessee ke case mein, it is possible that he replies or he does not reply.
Yes.
If he replies, so we will give the reply to the AO. And if it does not reply, so we will do what? That's the same process as best judgment. Is that understood?
Yes.
And now we continue this case from here. Let's talk about a case where all the information is actually received. That means, can I say VUTU has given their required work, their communication, and assessee has also given his books of accounts and documents, and all that was given by whom to whom? Hello? VUTU. See, when the assessee does not reply, what will happen? Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Now we are talking about a case where assessee has replied. Assessee has replied means everything came to NFSC. VUTU gave all the replies to NFSC, and all the replies received by NFSC were handed over to the AU. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Now what will the AU do? AU do after collecting all the information, the AU will pass something called a draft assessment order. Is it final? No, because don't forget, one character in our story is yet to come. Don't forget that. So we call it the DAO, draft assessment order. A draft assessment order will be made. And whose responsibility to make this? This you already know. Whose responsibility? The AU will make the draft assessment order, and of course a draft assessment order ke under it will decide whatever I have decided. See, it is possible that in the draft assessment order we have decided your total income, and we have decided your tax liability. In fact, in some cases, if the prepaid taxes are higher than the decided liability, it can also be a case of refund. This draft assessment order ka copy. Now you tell me, what do you think? The AU will give the copy to whom? AU will not give the C. तो आप समझे ही नहीं हो then. I just asked this much. AU will give it to whom? AU will give a copy of the order to the National Faceless Assessment Center. Is that understood? Now NFSC will take a call. NFSC will take a call based on the amount of income, amount of tax, amount of liability involved, based on the risk involved to the department, whether we want to do any further investigation in the form of review or we don't want to review. Who will take that call? If at all review unit has to be appointed also, who will take that call? NFSC will. So AU's responsibility, pass the order and give the copy of the order to the NFSC. Is that clear? Mitro?
Yes, sir.
Is that clear? Now once the NFSC has received, now please pay attention. Once the NFSC has received a copy of the draft order, from where have we received? AU. Is it possible that there is no variation proposed, matlab whatever income you showed in your return, only that is the income that we have finalized? Yes. Or alternatively, this is more likely, see, bolne ke liye we can say what? That there is no variation. If a case has been picked up for assessment, definitely there will be variation.
Yes, sir.
And it is possible. Arey kaun hai re, pagal hai kya tum? Who is this? It is possible that variation is proposed and that variation is prejudicial to the assessee, where we are increasing his liability, and this is only possible. See, on paper we can say anything, that there is no variation proposed. If there was no variation, it would have been an intimation. Intimation is no variation, yaar. Hello.
Yes.
This is an assessment. There will definitely be a variation. It is only on paper that we are saying no variation. Will there definitely be some variation in the draft order compared to what you showed? So obviously, before finalizing the assessment, we will have to give opportunity of being heard to the assessee. Principle of natural justice, Ponch, opportunity of being heard.
Yes.
Are you correct or no? So what we will be doing is that we will go and check whether there is variation or whether there is no variation. That we will check. If there is variation, then only we need to give an opportunity of being heard. And if there is no variation, what will we directly do?
Pass the order.
Order is already passed. NFSC just has to give
Share the copy to the assessor.
copy to the assessee so that the assessee knows what is my final amount. Huh?
Draft order. I thought that would be final.
If there is no variation. Good question. No variation का मतलब क्या?
That will be the
Correct? If there is variation, then we will give opportunity of being heard. Other than these two, at this stage, we may also decide to take a third step. These two are the possible steps, and there is a third possible step. And what is that third possible step? That the NFSC will appoint one RU to do what? To review the order. To review the order. To review the order. Have you understood? Mitro. So listen. Once the assessment unit passes the assessment order, what will the assessment unit do? Give a copy to NFSC. NFSC will check whether there is variation or no variation. If there is variation, then we will give an opportunity of being heard to the assessee. If there is no variation, then can I say we can convert the draft order into something called a final draft assessment order, or final order if you don't want to get into the technical names, final order. And what will we do? We will give a copy to the assessee. Write this here. We will give a copy to the assessee because we are not going to get a review done in all the cases. Review may happen in certain selected cases. So first let us talk about cases which are not coming under review. Assessment unit has done the order. Let's talk about the cases which are not coming under review. This may not come always. So let's talk about these cases. Assessment unit has passed order. After passing order, assessment unit has given a copy to NFSC. If there are variations, we will give Ponch. If there is no variation, then no need to give Ponch, and we can convert the draft order into final order and give a copy to the assessee, which mentions the tax liability, which mentions the refund amount. We will attach the demand notice and tell the assessee to pay the demand within 30 days. All the process we will follow. So whenever there is no review unit appointed, this is what will happen. Is that clear? Now, it is possible that against this final order, we are getting a review done. Very much possible, because that is one big reason why we are going into faceless, because earlier nobody was checking the work of the assessment officer, assessing officer. Now we want to get it checked. So now you would like to guess how will the review unit be selected? Randomly selected. And do you also understand, or shall I take you here and make you understand that it is possible that the review unit was from some other place only? That is also possible. So same selection as VUTU. Now the review unit will examine all the data. Who will give the data to the review unit?
NFSC.
And it is possible that the review unit, one, concurs with the assessment order. Concurs means, can I say agree? You can write agree word also if you are comfortable. That means whatever the assessment unit has done, I have got no objection. By doing review, I feel that the assessment unit has correctly worked. Is it possible? So what will happen? Again the same thing. The draft order will be converted into final order. Mitro.
Yes.
And is it possible that the review unit is not comfortable with the assessment done by the assessment unit? And this time the review unit will suggest some variation? Is it possible that the review unit will say that this particular thing needs to be checked again, or that particular thing needs to be checked again? Is it possible?
Yes.
Yes. To understand, I am starting from completion of assessment. Before that you understood, no? NFSC will send notice to the SSC for faceless. Select AU randomly. AU will ask for documents, verification, technical work. AU will ask everything to the NFSC. NFSC will communicate to the respective people, collect the information, submit to the assessment unit. If assessee does not reply, then best judgment. If assessee replies, then with all the information, assessment unit will complete the assessment by passing the order. From there I am continuing. Assessment order ka copy will be given to NFSC. So it will decide review required or not required. First let's talk about where we are not getting a review done. So let's stick to this part. No review. Direct this. If no variation, then convert into final order. If variation, then give opportunity and then convert into final order. If no review unit is appointed, this is what will happen. And now if a review unit is appointed, then again two things are possible. Review unit agrees with the assessment unit. Then once again convert into final order. Or possibility to review unit does not agree with the assessment unit. This is what I will explain. But if I have not explained this, the other things you have understood what I have explained.
Yes.
So if the review unit concurs with the assessment unit, then complete the assessment. If the review unit suggests variation, then whom will we tell again that sir variation is required? Will we tell the assessment unit? No.
NFSC.
Review unit will tell the NFSC what? That sir this assessment requires certain changes. Correct or no?
Yes, sir.
Mitro?
Yes, sir.
Now what will happen? Now the NFSC will randomly appoint another AU. To do what? To do the full task, whatever was done by AU earlier, no? Whatever was done by the AU earlier, the NFSC will select another AU. This is important. How will the AU be selected? Randomly, system. But the software will be incorporated with this tool that this selection will exclude the assessment unit who had done the work earlier. It will be any assessment unit other than the assessment unit who has done the earlier work, who has passed the draft order. Who has passed the draft order. Understood? Mitro? So now can I say who will be handling the case? Second assessment unit? Are hello yaar. Second assessment unit will check whatever are the reviews suggested. Who suggested the review? Review unit. It will again, if verification technical help is required through NFSC, it will contact the respective units. And now this second assessment unit will perform that task of passing the final draft assessment order, or I'll keep the short name, final draft assessment order. Final order. So listen, when there was no review, the draft order was converted into final order. When there was review but the review wala team concurred with the assessment wala team, then also the final order was here only. But when there was no concurrence, there was variation, then the second AU will come and do that order, final order. Original assessment unit ka order will be changed after review, we will convert into final order. At least you all understand this much, that this side of the chart and this side of the chart are mutually exclusive. Matlab you have to decide review has happened or not happened. If review has not happened, then here only we will make the final order and second AU will not come into picture. If review has taken place and there is concurrence, then also here itself we will complete this. Second AU will not come into picture. If review was done and there is variation, only then this part will happen, otherwise this part will not happen, and this time the final order pass karne ka responsibility will be on the another assessment unit. Is that clear, Mitro? Is that clear? So have you understood how review will come or may come or may not come after getting final order? Now tell me who has given the final order this time? Second AU, correct? We will again do the same thing. What? Variation. It is possible second AU has given variation. Yes. Actually, it is stupid to write no variation here. The fact that review has happened and another AU has been appointed, matlab definitely there is a variation that has taken place. So writing this is also stupidity. It is going to be this only. Sorry, my bad. Writing this is stupidity. It is definitely going to be a variation. That is the reason. That is the reason the second AU comes into picture. Otherwise, if there was no variation, second AU would have never come into picture. So whenever we have any variation, what was the earlier process? If we have any variation prejudicial to the assessee, once again we will give the assessee an opportunity of being heard before passing the final order. Once again we will do that. Is that understood? Mitro, okay. And after receiving the response from the assessee, is it possible that the assessee has given some response over here? Is it possible that the assessee has given some response over here, and because of that response we still have some changes in the computation? Now they have created one more new name. First they made draft order, then they said final draft order. Now they are saying revised final draft order or revised final order, revised final assessment order. So first a draft assessment order, then final order. Final order can be with review or without review, and in that we also have a possibility of a revised final order in case we have received any communication from the assessee. Is that understood? And in this whole story, just one thing, and this is what I explained to you yesterday also, that in case the assessee is an eligible assessee as per transfer pricing provisions, as a non-resident or a foreign company, then in cases of eligible assessee, nowhere we complete the assessment directly. We always make a draft copy, send it to the assessee, and we allow the assessee to raise an objection to the dispute resolution panel. So we will follow that system over here also. If the assessee is falling in that category of eligible assessee, so whichever place we have made the order, whether the draft order or the final draft order or the revised draft order, instead of sending that or passing that order, we will first send our proposal to the assessee, and then the assessee can choose not to stay in assessment and rather go to dispute resolution panel. I explained this concept to you yesterday, that international standards require you to give additional dispute resolution mechanisms to people who are coming from other countries. So instead of, what will happen, see, once this order is passed, then normal India ka people will have only 4 levels of appeal hierarchy, but foreign assessees need to have one more mechanism. We need to give them one more mechanism. So unke liye that dispute resolution panel ka mechanism will also get activated over here. We will give them our proposals ka copy. They can, instead of continuing in assessment, they can go to DRP, and that is why the DRP ka 144C ka section was taught earlier. So somewhere that is also written, but that is only exclusively to eligible assessees, foreign assessees who are eligible for DRP mechanism. Those who are not eligible, this is the procedure. What is the procedure laid down in subsection 1? National Faceless Assessment Center will communicate to you that your case is covered under faceless. I am telling the procedure step by step from start to finish. See if you are understanding. NFSC will decide to select the case. CBDT will decide, NFSC will communicate. Correct? Then NFSC will randomly select one assessment unit. Assessment unit will require some information documents from assessee, verification work, technical work. All that communication will be sent to NFSC, and NFSC will talk to them. Assessee will furnish the required books of accounts documents to NFSC. If there is failure, best judgment. Verification people will submit, technical people will submit their report, and all this data once collected by NFSC will be given to the assessment unit. Assessment unit will pass the order. In the order, we will check review or no review. Bolo, what do you want me to explain first? Let's go to no review, because review will continue the process. No review. No review may go and check variation or no variation. If variation, then paunch. If no variation, then no paunch. And we will convert that order into final order. No problem. And if there is review, again we will check concurred or variation. If concurred, then again convert to final order. If variation, then second assessment unit, different from the first assessment unit, will pass the other order, final order. Okay. And again, if there is variation, so again we will give opportunity of being heard and pass the revised final order. Copy of that order will be given to the assessee along with the demand notice, and once you get the notice, you have to make your payment within 30 days. In other words, more than the procedure, I again say that in exam it cannot come. Let me be honest. I spent 1.5 hours on this, but in exam, this cannot come. This is more to give you practical knowledge of how, if you have understood this much, that no one will talk to each other. All communications will happen through our lead hero, NFSC. The functions will be divided. So, somewhere we had studied a section and we always call it T-scheme section, T-scheme. Transparency, efficiency, accountability wala section.
Yes.
We wrote a few points over there. See if you now understand. Eliminating the interface between assessing officer and the assessee. Is all this happening with what we have studied here?
Yes, sir.
Optimum utilization of resources. Mumbai ka assessing officer is overloaded. Unit is overloaded. No problem. Our case will randomly allocate it to the Lucknow wala EU. Correct? Optimum utilization of resources. Because salary we are paying to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Some are idle and some are overburdened. So we will be able to use our resources properly. And third, team-based jurisdiction, dynamic jurisdiction, team-based jurisdiction. One person will not do it. Multiple people will be involved in your case. Functions will be divided into various units. Are we achieving all this by creating NFSC, RFSC and the various units and the electronic communication? What you need to understand here is the purpose that we are going to achieve by doing all this and how it will be implemented practically. It will still take time to be set. It will still take a lot of time. And in exam, honestly speaking, even after all the discussion, I don't see much relevance of this as far as examination is concerned. Because think about it. Can you frame a question on this? What will they ask in the procedure? Who does everything? NFSC does everything. Who does assessment work? Who does verification work? Name itself is self-explanatory. Exam के अंदर frame करके to ask questions. I don't think it is. I don't think about the possibility. Also, but practical implementation of income tax का knowledge के लिए this was required. This is what they have introduced in the name of faceless assessment. Whole world is going crazy about it. Let me be honest. Once you are able to understand the system, no need to go crazy about it. Okay, if you understand, if you work on a couple of cases, one income tax return or one scrutiny notice through the faceless center, you will be able to understand the whole process automatically without actually reading a single thing from the section. If required, you can read it once from the book that I have allotted to you. But this, ladies and gentlemen, was our concept of faceless assessment.